Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental energy reading for air for the month of February of 2026. Air covers the zodiac signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So if you are Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or have air high up in your chart, these messages are for you. If you've never had your charts read, and this is not a sponsored link, it's just a really awesome tool that I found. There's a link in the description to a natal chart through Llewellyn. It gives you your base 12 houses with all little signs and symbols, and then there's a 10 to 20 page description of what all that means. And the fun part that I like about this one is it has a elemental alignment section, usually towards the back. And that's just, it gives you a little more idea of like, okay, well, I'm air dominant, I might be water, fire, earth secondary, and then you can see also where the things are that are maybe not the highest, so those are areas you can work on as a spiritual person. So it's definitely kind of fun to check out if you're interested. But hopping into your reading today, we'll start off with I-ching hexagram, and I cast the hexagram before we started here. And Earth, you have number 11, which is the hexagram titled Peace. Peace, the mean decline, the great and the good approach good fortune and success. So this is really saying this is going to be a good month for you, Air. There's going to be a lot of awesome stuff going on. When it says the mean decline, it's referencing the average declines. So it's not going to be an average month for you. You're going to do pretty good here. The great and the good approach good fortune and success. Air, prepare for fun things happening this month. Your success is going to be what you decide it is. Some people see success as monetary gain, some see success as relationship improvements, or possibly ending up with a new one on the way. You know, there's all sorts of different ways you can look at success, so it's not just about money. It's about what makes you feel like you've accomplished things. So, let's hop over here to our foundation line. When the grass is uprooted, what is attached to it is pulled as well. It is an auspicious time for advancing according to plan. Air, you love to have things ordered, logical. I mean, that's the energy of air, tends to be more ordered and logical when it's in its positive state. When it's negative, it's way more flighty. But what this is saying is when grass is uprooted, what is attached is pulled up as well. It's saying if there's something that you've been wanting to clean out, clean out the emotional closet, clean out the physical closet, this is a good month for that. Get that stuff out of the way. Clear this space. Allow yourself the gift of making space for improvement. Because once you do that, you already have a plan. I don't even have to question that. You're going to have your plan fall into place way faster because you took out the problems. Your second line, supporting the uncultivated, crossing the river without boats, not retreating despite the distance from his base, not abandoning his comrades, he or she, he still manages to steer a middle course. So if you ever looked into the Kabbalah, you'll hear of the term middle pillar. This is what they're talking about is you're supporting the uncultivated and you're crossing the river without boats. You're just doing this. You're not waiting for some easy path. You're just like, I got things to do. And that's air's energy with this one. You're not retreating despite the distance from your base. In other words, it may not be where you're comfortable, but you really don't care. You have a goal in mind and you're heading towards the goal. Uncomfortable, we'll deal with that later. We've got things to do. And you're not abandoning your comrades. So the people who've been supporting you and helping you, like your spouse, sometimes your kids, sometimes it's a coworker or a business partner, you're bringing them along for the ride. They may not be quite ready for that, but they trust you enough to follow your lead. And so that's where this is going. You still manage to steer a middle course. You're not getting into extremes. You're not taking this to the utmost one way or the other. You're taking it down the middle, the path of neutrality, because what's the point of getting off-centered? You work with the energy of Gemini, which is the twins, a balance, Libra, a balance, Aquarius, two squiggly lines, a balance. Air is bringing in this balance into every aspect of their lives. So you're really focusing on staying centered so that you can move forward with confidence. Your third line, every plane is followed by a slope. Every going forth is followed by a return. Persistence under difficulty will not lead to error. Do not lose faith, for the eclipse is sometimes a blessing. Eclipses sometimes can just give you clarity so you can actually see what's happening. And they're saying, you might be going great for a little bit and then you have to climb. Well, that's life. You have to work for it. And sometimes you'll be out there doing something and be like, I'm on the wrong path. So you have to backtrack a little ways and then you can take off the right direction. None of this is wrong. None of this is bad, air. This is really saying you learn through action. Okay. Air loves to have things logical, reasonable. They love to collect knowledge and wisdom. So even though you might end up on the wrong path through this month, it's not a bad thing because you get to backtrack and you've learned something along the way. And do not lose faith, for an eclipse is sometimes a blessing. Sometimes you need that little pause and be like, I need to rethink this. I need to refocus. It's not negative. It's really saying this is really a supportive time for you, even if you do go that route, because it gives you time to calculate and maybe reconfigure some things. And my guides are saying this is the time where you get to figure out what you did wrong. How can you learn from it? You're going to store that information for later because you might need it. But now you're going to go back and fix the problem. So our fourth place line, the first broken one here, running to and fro, kept from riches by those around him, he does not cease to put his trust in them. So there's a footnote here. What does it say? I usually don't read these, but this one stuck out for some reason. He runs to and fro in his anxiety to be of service, whether people reward his kindness or not. So when you're running to and fro, kept from riches by those around him, he does not cease to put his trust in them. If there's someone in your life who might be actually taking advantage of you, you don't have to worry about that. Their karma is going to kick them in the rear end later. You just keep doing what you know to be the right thing. And if that means you're running around a little bit, you're trying to improve a situation, okay. Don't let go of your own goals and dreams and destination, though. If you're helping that person, fine. If they're taking advantage, you know what? Let the universe deal with them. Because it's, I can assure you, it will. Sometimes you get the privilege of seeing it. So don't worry about that. Your focus is you're running around, you're doing all the things. If you've got time to help that person out, do it. It's going to help you, it's going to benefit your karmic patterns and cycles. But if it's feeling like it's abuse, if it happens to suddenly not have time for it, that's okay too. Our fifth place line. By giving his daughter in marriage, the emperor attained felicity and extreme good fortune. So this might be where you have to... Feels like you're sacrificing something, giving up the daughter, but the emperor attained felicity and extreme good fortune. It may feel like you have to lose something this month, but just like with the text, the mean decline, you have to give up the average. So you may have to give up something. That doesn't mean it's negative, because you're going to get returned for this. So you're giving up something that is important and valuable to you, but you're not really giving it up. It's just going to be in a different position. Like, by giving his daughter in marriage, the emperor's not saying, I will banish you to the farthest reaches and never see you again. He's giving his daughter away in marriage, meaning there's still going to be contact. It's still a father-daughter situation, but it's changed. The dynamic has changed. But by doing so, the emperor has secured something. So it's actually going to benefit him as well. Yeah, he may not have his daughter or whatever it is you're giving up at your beck and call anymore, but you've improved everything around you, including that person or that situation's existence. So that's a good thing. Our capstone here, the wall has tumbled into the moat. Do not put up a fight. Maintain order in the village. Although this is the right course, blame cannot be avoided. So if something goes sideways, because, life happens, the wall has tumbled into the moat. Do not put up a fight. Maintain order in the village. You don't have to stress over it. Like, oh, that fell apart. Great, now I have to deal with it. And that's the path is, okay, just deal with it. You're not fighting against the situation. You're not going to be like, how dare you? It's more of, you know what? I'll just deal with this. It's not that big of a deal. And by doing so, you'll maintain order in your life. It's not blaming somebody else, because if you put up the fight, that's where it's like someone else is at fault, so I have to go charge against them. Okay, or you could just let them have their moment, whatever fell down, and fix the problem, which is going to allow those around you to see that you actually can keep your cool under pressure. I mean, you might turn the air blue around you from the language, because you have to vent it out some way, but it doesn't mean you have to go attack the other person. Just be like, one more thing on my plate I have to deal with, and that's what they're saying is maintain the order. So just take care of it. It's not that big of a deal. And this is the right course. Blame cannot be avoided. even if that other person, you don't have to go after them, no fighting, but you can still attribute, this happened because of that person, or it could be yourself too. Don't ever give up on the fact that we're still human. And so sometimes, I rearranged my setup here so my table's on the sides low. You may have to accept that, what, I'm the one to blame because I put this in the hands of the wrong person. And that's not a big deal. If it happens, you just have to deal with it. So, but overall, Air, you have a very beautiful month ahead from the I-ching. So we'll hop into the cards and see what other information we can find out there. So I read intuitively, so if you see something different from the cards, feel free to leave that in the comments down below, like the video if you enjoy this type of content, and subscribe because I do a lot of readings. I also do some other informative stuff. Trying to get back into that. It's been a little bit. But with that, we'll hop into the readings. Each week, there's 4 weeks in February. Each week, we look at a guide or guardian. We look at a message from source, and then we get a little clarity from the tarot. So you are starting your month off with, that's interesting, the goddess Kali, Hindu goddess, in black obsidian. This is a sacred revolution. That kind of applies for you, though. You release allegiances to the old cycles, opening your soul to the birthing process of the Divine Mother, who guides you into the highest fulfillment of your potential. An entirely new order is being established in respect of this great unfolding and power. You are willing to be moved, inspired, and guided to embrace this new approach and response. You possess the courage required for this change. You trust in the universe. You trust that the universe loves you, and you are able to let go and grow. So, we have, just like it says in the I-ching, there may be some hiccups. You may have to let some things go. The mean departs, because it's time for you to shift into this higher frequency. It is time for you to step into the next phase. You've been planning. You've been doing your affirmations, your vision boards, all these steps up to this point. And now it's time for you to be open to the changes. The universe has basically helped pile everything up for you. So now it's just, are you ready to open the door? Because when you do, you're definitely going to receive the things that you've been planning for. They may not be in the exact pattern that you thought, or it may not be achieved in the speed that you had planned on, because the universe works with the soul level, not just our conscious mind. So be ready for things to maybe be out of order. But that doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It just means that it's going to be in the best soul-aligned pattern. So, and with the energy of Kali, she is one of the she's basically a triple-faced goddess in the Hindu pantheon. So she can be the Divine Mother. She can be very, very, very helpful in that respect. But she also is someone who can cut away the egoic cords and clean out a lot of the residual karma that you have not quite let go of yet. So it's not just a negative thing here. There's this beautiful balance, going back to the I-ching, that is being brought in here. And this energy, you can work with it the first week, or you can carry it through the whole month. And with obsidian, it's good grounding energy to help stabilize anything that might be a little rough. Your message from Source is number 21, first breath, the beginner's mind. This is where you step into this next world. Source is wanting you to understand that you've been developing, devising, contemplating, thinking about, however you want to say that, in your conscious mind and into your subconscious, because as you consciously think, you're seeding into the subconscious, and that's where we start working the, lack of a better term, the magic of reality. So the first breath this is the first step to the rest of your life. This is the first step in this next creation. Your success is going to come in, and basically this first week is the first step towards that. So follow your intuition, follow your inner guidance. Really, they keep saying this, really get clear on your goals. Don't go willy-nilly. That way you can actually say, no, this is the direction I'm headed. These are the goals I want to achieve. And when I see the inspired action, I know that this is following the path because Source has guided me to this. Your message from the tarot is the King of Autumn, compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and gifted. Be assertive when it comes to what you know is right. Everything is going your way. A good person or company to work for. And I'm feeling this is actually you stepping out in your own authority. And you you've been considering starting this business, you've been considering proposing to this person. There's this energy of something you've been thinking about for a while that is going to be a life-changing event. It's not going to be something minor or simple. You're making some changes here. The King of Autumn is saying you already have all the talents and skills that you need. Now it's time to put your pedal to the metal. Now it's time to actually move this ship. You've been getting everything put together. It's well stocked. You're well equipped. Time to move. And the King of Autumn is coming in to support you in that. And it's interesting, in this first week, we still have that balance coming in, because we have the Kali, the Divine Mother. We have the King of Autumn, who's the master of his own fate. So you've got a masculine and feminine balance applying here. So balance is going to be a big part of Air's month in February. So let's see what your second week looks like with a Guide and Guardian. And this deck of cards is usually really talkative, so when it's a little slow, it's confusing. But it's probably because it's trying to... Okay, it's been giving me these two cards, so we'll see what this looks like. We have the Ascended Master, Mother Mary, and Celestite with unconditional trust. I'll read them individually, then hold them up together. We have unconditional trust brings relief to your heart, fresh energy to your mind, and you are gently lifted into joy. A feeling of playfulness and awakens within your heart. You dare to open yourself willingly, faithfully, and knowingly to what is and what shall be. The universe looks out for you, has your best interests at heart, and acts for your highest good. You rest in the sacred companionship with the Divine Mother, again with the Divine Feminine, and open to the highest frequency of reality. You are so free, graceful, and blessed that you are an inspiration for others. Like the I-ching says, you are going to bring people along. You're not casting anyone away. Your second card, again with Divine Feminine aspect, is the Ascended Master Lady Nada with Rhodochrosite, and the title is Sensitivity. Your devoted heart is a willing, conscious, clear channel for spiritual grace. Your growing sensitivity empowers you to experience the loving presence of the divine and to become the living light with tremendous compassion. Your sensitivity increases in perfect harmony with your ability to process subtle energies and generate the protective field of spiritual light around you. You claim the space that you need to process your experiences and thrive. You trust what you sense and respond with wisdom. Easy for Air. It is safe and wild, startling and beautiful to be the sensitive soul with this higher awareness. You are being asked to follow your intuition very strongly with these two cards. Again, pink and blue, traditional, modern tradition is boy and girl, so you're still coming into a balanced state. You have unconditional trust and sensitivity, meaning when you truly get into your intuition, your sensitivities, your abilities to sense other things, and you trust that the divine is guiding you, doors just kind of fly open. Things move pretty quickly, and you start to notice that no matter what's happening, you have that guidance, you have that protection, and there's this inherent wisdom in seeing how things play out that you don't even have to think about it anymore. And Air, this is what's coming in the second week, is you get this gift of divine guidance, but also divine awareness. So you come into a place where you're fully aware of what's going on, you can see the pattern playing out, and Source is really working with you through this. So your message from Source is number 17, Eye of the Needle with intentionality. Don't be willy-nilly this month. Set your intentions, go forward. Follow the path. When you make a decision, follow through. This is one of those calls to the middle pillar, middle path, because when you go through the eye of the needle, you need to be lined up correctly. Anyone who's done sewing by hand, embroidery, whatever, you have to poke the thread through the needle. You have to be lined up perfectly or it's not going to work, and you have to be paying attention again or it's not going to work. That's this energy, is you want to make sure you're focused and clear-minded. You want to make sure you're ready for what's coming, and you may not see everything, that's fine, but you need to be ready for the result, the goal. Let the universe deal with all the steps, because they're going to show you the right way. But as long as you're staying clear, focusing on the intention of the end game, you're going to be able to work through this month really easily. And again, I say easily, that doesn't mean there may not be hiccups along the way, because we're humans, we have different lessons to learn. But the energy the universe is bringing in is it's time for air to really enjoy things. It's time for air to get some manifestations going. It's time for air to see the results of the hard work and effort that they've been putting in. So your message from the tarot is the Prince of Autumn: dependable, protective, chivalrous, and humorous. Those are always fun. Cautious but wise action, meticulous attention to detail, kindness to others. Again, working with this autumn energy. You're also working with another divine masculine principle, countering and balancing the divine feminine at the beginning. So the Prince of Autumn is saying, you know how to do this. You also know how to be honorable in what you're doing. But let's be real, Air. You're not going to be a fuddy-duddy about this. You're not going to have your nose stuck so far in the air. We only have to be proper. You're going to have fun with this. You're going to get things done, but you're going to enjoy the journey. It's not this struggle of, I have to follow every rule every time. You're going to follow the rules because that's what you do, Air. But you're going to do so in a way that is, people don't even realize you're following the rules. They're going to think you're just having fun and achieving all this stuff. But you've been following this pattern and these rules from the very beginning. They just don't realize it because you make it look so effortless and you make it look fun. So, and when I talk about rules, we're talking universal rules, not, all the everyday stuff. Those are different. That's a different headache. But your energy with this is really about having fun as you're doing all the things, bringing everyone together so that the work goes well and none of one feels stressed out about it. So let's hop into your third week. Here we have the goddess Rhiannon and Amazonite. Your title is Integrity. You listen deeply for the truth of your heart. You create harmony between your intentions, words, and actions. You make promises that honor your soul. Based on the wisdom of your heart, you make decisions with courage and boldness. You act with respect for spiritual wisdom. You recognize the power within you and around you, which you surrender into inspired service for the greater good. You have the strength of character to live in integrity with your own heart. You emanate peace and grace. This third week, you're going to really start integrating the first two. You're also going to start bringing in that divine inspired action, because the first 2 weeks we're getting you ready. You're balancing, you're cleaning some stuff out, you're getting clear on the intentions, you're focusing on how things are going to play out. In this third week, it's saying, bring it all together. Bring everything that you've been working on into this moment. When you do this, it's going to open up some doors. It's going to show you opportunities. It might even show you shortcuts you didn't even realize were there, which is huge. So what you're going to look at in this third week is be aware that things are shifting. Be aware that the time is now, but it's also saying you already know all this stuff, Air. There's nothing new. That's this part of this integrity aspect. Nothing here is new. You already know all this. This is just me repeating something that you've already heard before because you already know it. And it's time to put it into action, though. Knowledge plus action equals wisdom. The wisdom is there. It's available to you, but there's some steps you have to take to achieve that. And that's what's being called into play in this third week is, okay, you've got everything ready. Time to move. Your message from Source is number 46, Root Girl, the Disowned Self. Uh-oh. No. Really, this is about getting grounded. Air, you tend to want to be up in the clouds. Everything has to move super fast. Everything has to happen yesterday. But with this energy, it's saying, don't forget the part of you that's inside, part of your shadow, because part of Air's shadow is going to be Earth. Earth is your opposite, is coming back down, settling into the everyday. And the Root Girl is wanting to remind you, don't ignore the day-to-day. Yes, you have goals, you have big dreams, you have ambitions, you've got all these things at play, but don't forget the inner child aspect. Don't forget your shadow self. Stay grounded as you're moving forward, and you're going to notice the success is easier. If you get too much into your head, too much into the air, too much up here energy, it might feel like you can't quite ground anything. And you have the Prince of Autumn and the King of Autumn, which are both Earth energies, plus this one coming in the middle of the week here, saying you can do all this stuff. Don't forget to ground it down. Don't disown a part of yourself because, well, it's dragging me down. It's not. It's anchoring you. It's keeping you stable. This month is keep moving forward. You've got things to do. You've got plans playing out. Everything's looking good. But you have this energy of call stuff back into balance. Well, Air, that's one side of it. Your shadow is Earth. Part of your shadow is Earth. So when you bring this stuff into balance, you reintegrate the part of you that you've been trying to ignore, which is what we do with shadows. We don't want to acknowledge them. But the root girl is really saying, ground back down. You're not out in the stars yet, so stay connected to Earth until you no longer need to. Let's look at your message from Source. We have the Queen of Spring. Brilliant, loyal, talented, and friendly. Believe in yourself. Wonderful people who want to help you maintain a balance between work and home life. Again, balance, balance, balance. The Queen of Spring has been there. She's done that. She's conquered her enemies. Her consort is the king. They know how to handle stuff. With Spring, we're looking more into the emotions. So this could be tied to water. It also could be tied to the Suit of Cups. Sorry, just lost that. And I think there's actually a cup. Oh no, that's Atlas holding up the world down here in the bottom. And what it's saying is, as long as you're staying grounded and you're still getting things done, this is where you believe in yourself. You have this beauty that comes with you, Air, and it's all about, look what I can get done, look how gracefully I can do it. I'm having fun while I'm doing it. And I'm also willing to show others and bring them along for the ride, because we all build together. Today I'm leading the charge, tomorrow it might be somebody else. So we work together, we work in unity, we work in joy. But it's also saying, don't forget to balance work and home. So if your goal through this month and your success direction is with work, don't neglect taking care of your home. If you've got a spouse, if you've got kids, if you've got pets, whatever it is, don't neglect that because you're so focused on the success. If your focus is on the relationship, don't neglect work because you still have to pay for things, especially for proposing. You got to pay for the future. So there's a balance that comes into play here, no matter what it is. And you can also apply this in a spiritual principle of mind, body, and spirit coming into alignment, coming into balance, and everyone works together for the greatest good of the entity. So you look at how you balance your life. When you find things in balance, you're actually benefiting you, those helping you and around you, and ripple effect, you're applying that to everything else. And if more of the collective starts working into this balance, it would actually redress some balances or imbalances that are going on. And do you think everyone can do that? It'd be nice, but you never know. So if you do your part, at least you know that you're stepping up and Source is working with you so that it's helping to beautify your neck of the woods. So let's hop into our fourth week here. We have Angel Bath Cole, and the stone is aquamarine. Stepping into some power here, some very spiritual energy. We are looking at the authentic voice. This is such a cool looking card. Your authentic voice awakens truth, clarity, and courage within yourself and all others. Your voice supports the opening of your soul's path. Okay, Air, you are the energy of communication as well, so this is really applying to you, even though aquamarine is a water stone. You trust that truth expressed with love brings spiritual benefits to all beings. The authentic message from your soul, shared with generosity and grace, they are recognized and received by others and yourself as well. Your soul wisdom knows how to express what needs to be shared effectively and for the highest good of all beings. You accept and express the uniqueness of your authentic voice and tune into what resonates deeply for you. You choose to live the truth of your soul. Air, you just do the right thing. You don't even have to think about it. By the last week of February, you've been working on this connection. You've been deepening your awareness and knowledge. And I don't care how many years you've been practicing or if you just started yesterday. We're always in this path of growth when it comes to that. And this fourth week is basically saying, now it's time to express everything that you have learned, grown, and integrated. All the balance that you've acquired is now time to reflect it out. As within, so without. And now it's time to as without it. So you're able to share this with others easily because you have the gift of being able to communicate. You have the gift of being able to share in easy to understand terms the things that you have learned, the things that you have gained wisdom over. And when you do that, it actually helps amplify you because by sharing, you're elevating. Because when you share a divine truth, it elevates that person's soul. Unless they're totally against it, in which case that's on them, not you. But you're doing the work of the divine by sharing this information and allowing it to grow and expand. Your message from Source is number 44, the perfect storm, the courage to step into life. You ready for this, Air? Your success is pretty much guaranteed according to everything we're seeing here. But are you ready for it? The perfect storm of creation, the perfect storm of lessons, the perfect storm of karmic clearing, it's all coming together this month. Are you ready for this? Do you have the courage to take that next step? Sometimes that next step can be terrifying, but universe and source, God, wants to let you know, even if you're scared, follow the divine guidance. Even if you have anxiety, depression, you're nervous about, well, what if someone sees, what if they say something negative? They might, they're probably going to. I don't care what platform you're on, real life with a brick and mortar store, you're online doing something like this or something else online, you're going to have negative people. That's just how it works. But it's how you respond. With grace, dignity, you're following that middle path. So that, yeah, they can be as negative as they want. That's fine. That's on them. Now, if it's constructive criticism, that's a little different. You want to pay attention to those. But if they're just like, oh, this person does this, I can't believe they're even online doing that. That's not constructive and that's not helpful. So ignore those people. But if it's like, if you got a different mic, if you got a different camera, if you got more lighting, those are things that are constructive. They're not saying you're bad. They're saying it could be improved. So the constructive criticism is a benefit. But the perfect storm is saying, are you ready to step into that? Are you ready to really get going on that? Are you ready to have that person come into your store and be like, oh, I absolutely love this. Ooh, that's a bit expensive. Fine, don't buy it. But you also have the people come in and be like, I need 5 of those. So get ready for whatever's coming and be ready to deal with the leftovers. And when I say the leftovers, it's just they're not ready to hear what you have to say. They're not ready to step into the same space that you are or a similar space. And that's fine. They have a different soul's journey. And that's where having the courage to put yourself out there is difficult. But once you do it, you realize, oh, that was it? Okay, I got this. So, Air, you've got everything you need. It's just time to step forward. Your message from Source, or the Tarot, I have too many things going on, is the 7 of Autumn. Have patience, don't worry, take time to rest, plan your next steps, a prudent investment of time or money. By your time you end up at the end of this month, it's going to be that time of, again, with the autumn, grounding energy, more earth energy. Don't rush everything. Follow your divine guidance. You may have pauses through this month where nothing happens. That's fine. This last week is saying, now that you have went through everything here, you've seen the growth, you've seen the changes, you've integrated, you've taken next steps, you realize that it's actually easy to follow divine guidance, even if it's scary at times. What are you doing next? What next steps are you looking at? Did you achieve your goal? If you did, what's next? And this is a 7 of Autumn's energy. It's not saying, oh, just take a break, kick your shoes off, and don't do anything. It's saying, pause, allow yourself the gift of quietness, and then allow yourself the ability to focus on what's coming. What's available next? Where are you headed? Did you achieve the main goal? If you did, what's the next goal? If you didn't achieve the main goal, okay, what's your next steps to get to that point? What divine inspirations are you having? And sometimes you'll just have that urge to pray and meditate. Fine. That's great. That's a great next step to be on, because it means you're willing to listen and you're still asking, you're still focusing on the big picture. So with that, Air, I will let you guys and gals go. Again, leave your comments down below. I love reading them. With that, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video.